transport layer security, and an OAuth credential store. And then third, new news here today, new and old news in some ways, is that we've decided that it's important enough to continue to win share in the mail and messaging business to revitalize the Exchange to Domino migration tool that we had shipped in the product in the past. And that will make a reappearance starting with version 9 through our services team, and then later in the year directly in the product. We also are working on the first time implementation of Domino as a pattern for deployment on IBM Pure systems, which is an initiative out of the overall software group for systems that are automated, self-detecting, self-upgrading, self-healing. A very, very significant amount of work there across software group overall. You'll hear a lot more about Pure throughout the next few days in all the sessions on the strategy level. So that work will come this first half as well. Okay. On Traveler, Traveler version 9 is primarily a back-end update, but it's a very significant back-end update. For the first time, we will be supporting Windows Phone, Windows Phone 7.5 and 8, as well as the Surface devices and those that are running RT. I tweeted a picture yesterday. Is Eric Achet in the room? Are you here, Eric? No. I don't see a head. Eric Achet is the product manager on my team for Traveler, and he stopped me in the hall and showed me a Nokia Lumia 920 with Notes Traveler built into the operating system. It's a choice right on the device. The first time we've had that in a long time. Thank you to Nokia, if you're in the room, for that partnership. You know, this is a platform that I've maligned many times. But you know, I see its emergence as a subset of the mobile space. Maybe they will get it right, maybe they won't. I don't want to be the one to make that decision. I want the market to make that decision. So we're supporting Windows Phone and Windows tablets. BlackBerry 10, RIM's official announcement is Wednesday this week of BlackBerry 10 and that platform. They gave us special permission to talk about it as a real thing a couple of days early. If RIM's in the room, thank you again for that. The BlackBerry 10 platform is pretty interesting. If you've not done any reading on it, you should really check out. The architecture is very different than what RIM has done in the past. There's no BES server in the same way that the BlackBerry has operated in the past, which is why we can support it for the first time in Traveler in version 9. It uses the same ActiveSync protocol that these other platforms are using now, but RIM's done a really, really good job of designing a device that separates business and personal information into completely separate realms. So there's no sort of I agree. I think it's really cool. It's very, very cool architecture, and never the twain shall meet. And that is clearly one of the biggest concerns that organizations have had with personally liable devices. And I think RIM has really taken a very sharp approach to that. So they're here this week. Obviously, their big announcement is on Wednesday. They've used Connectosphere, whatever we're at. So it was inevitable. Wait, isn't there a drinking game for that? I heard there was a drinking game for if I'm signing my book too. That's not good. Anyway, so RIM will be announcing here in Orlando as one of their sites for their announcement on Wednesday at BlackBerry 10. And then last but not least, the power of social. Is Steve Pitcher in the room? He wouldn't have known that I was going to call him out. One of our IBM champions went to bat for all of you who use System I and said, we really need Traveler on this platform as well. And it worked. And we are now adding the System I platform in addition to Windows and Linux. Only muted applause for that. Sorry, Steve. But thank you. Beyond Notes and Domino 9 Social Edition, that release, we will add significant other capabilities to Traveler over the course of 2013. Most of them are in the security space. We're going to continue to add capabilities that will enhance management of attachments and making sure that they can't go off device, integration with the mobile device managers like I talked about in Smart Cloud, some additional authentication, syncing of the trash and that folder. I don't really know why, but you all asked for it, so we did it. And got applause, all right. So if Eric and Lee and the team are here, that syncing of the trash, that's got at least one fan in the room, so that's good. So lots of things that we'll do as the year rolls out on Traveler as well. All right, Notes 9 Social Edition, under development, as I said earlier, for more than a year and a half. Our overall arching goals of this release have been to modernize the user experience, to make it more accessible to the end user, and to enable it from a social perspective. One of the things I like the most about Notes 9 Social Edition is that after 23 years in the market, we finally figured out that when you start Notes, you should tell the end user how to use it. And so we've built a Discover engine. That got applause. Okay. We're slow sometimes, but now that we're out of the house and finished college and we're 23, we think about these things in a bigger picture. So the Discover engine is the first startup experience within Notes 9, tells the end user what the new features are, shows them videos of how to use them, gives them hints about things they may never have discovered in Notes before. Our user experience team, the design team, spent a tremendous amount of effort on that effort. So Chris, Paul, and team, thank you for the Discover engine in Notes 9. Tremendous amount of work there. Overall, the design team really has rocked this release. This user experience is the one that draws the "that's Notes" kind of a response. That's what we want. We're excited about this. I'm tremendously enthusiastic about the capabilities of this new user experience and the way that it makes you feel about using the product and the way that it just simple, stupid things like edit, paste as plain text instead of having to go paste instead of having to go paste special, do I want formatted, unformatted, rich text, HTML, whatever. Edit, paste as plain. Just simple stuff is in there. The team's really, really thought about this release. When you see Scott Sauter in IBM in INV 100, I mean, he's going to want 3 hours on this stage to take you through that release because there's so much in the Notes 9 and iNotes 9 experiences. Some of his favorites. Sorry, I stole your slide. I won't go through them all here, but the quick find capability is not just about the column that you're sorted on at any particular moment. Now it's about finding anything. Single-click access to mail, calendar, contacts in the top tools. Reply to all from sent folder. There's the paste as plain text. A lot of different things in there. I know you haven't discovered them all yet. That's okay. We haven't shipped yet. But go to Scott's session, go to the labs, find out more about what's in Notes 9. In iNotes 9, the list is even longer as to what we've done in the iNotes experience. And here, we've mirrored the Notes client as much as we engineeringly possibly can in terms of features and capabilities for the first time. So everything, applause for that. Okay, good. I should probably have slowed down even further so you can applaud more frequently. That's fine. I like it, Okay. All right. Lots of new capabilities, especially in Calendar in iNotes. The interface is really slick. This is an embedded experience. I haven't said anything about Open Social yet. Major part of the Notes and iNotes story in Notes 9, or in the 9 release in general, is embedded application experiences through the Open Social 2.0 protocol, where the user no longer has to leave the context of their mail message just to click an approve button or get access to comments on a video or whatever the functionality may be. There's got to be a dozen sessions on this on the agenda somewhere. Open Social is a really, really important technology for you to learn if you're an app developer and you want to look at how to bring the best user experience to your end users. And so here you see it within the iNotes context. It's exactly the same inside the Notes context as well. But we didn't finish there with the browser experience. Last year on this stage, we announced that part of the Notes Domino 9 release would be a browser plugin. Actually, last year on this stage, we announced that part of the release would be a Notes application player plugin. And then we got off the stage and said, that's a really dumb name. So now it's the Notes browser plugin, so that makes a lot more sense. This is a version of the Notes client that runs inside the browser without having to have the full client installed. And it runs your applications with no modification. Pretty simple. So for those organizations that just want to go browser, you can do that now. You don't have to invest in rewriting and modernizing every one of your apps. I love application modernization. Some of the partners that I see around this room have some tremendous stories about application modernization. But I know it's not worth it for a discussion database, right? So what we can do to take those apps that you've had running in your mission-critical solutions for 5, 10, 15 years and make them available to that browser user is make Notes available to that browser user. So that's what we've done. It's not perfect in the first release. It runs on Windows only. It's not going to use anything that's sort of Java Eclipse-based. There's going to be other sort of limitations. They're all going to be covered in the session. Firefox and IE, along with Citrix for the first release. But we'll do more. And we'll do more based on your feedback. This is amazing technology. It's just the idea that I can be in the browser and be in Notes. It just seems like something so simple that the engineering team was really innovative in finding ways to deliver it and make it simple. It's downloaded as a plugin one time, 60, 70 megabytes. Very, very straightforward to manage and deploy. Okay. All right, one last piece to the Notes in Domino 9 story is that there's changes to licensing and entitlements. These are all for the better. Some of them are announcements today. So the browser plugin that we just talked about, that licensing, people keep asking me which licenses is it part of and not. It's part of Collab Express and Enterprise Cal. Those are the two licenses for that. If you're a utility customer, you need individual CALs for the users using that, just like you do for the Notes client. We've already updated the Connections entitlement to Connections 4. We slipstreamed that in November, but we'll continue to do that. Now that we've learned that there's a mechanism to slipstream, we can do that more frequently. But the big change there is that we're explicitly saying the entitlement to files and profiles includes mobile. So that's good news. In Express, we're making a change that is the one last turd left on my changes to Express that I've been making for 2 years. When we moved from the old licensing structure where Designer was a separate product to CALs in 2009, we kind of forgot about how that would implicate in Express. And the answer was, oh, just buy a CAL and you'll use it with the Express environment. And that just really made absolutely no sense. So as of version 9, Express license users can use Designer as well. OK, I thought it was worth applause. See, now I'm begging for the applause and I'm not getting it. OK. We are making changes to IBM XWork Server. We had a very good year with XWork Server at the very end of the wire. But by the end of the year, the first year of having XWork Server in market was pretty good. We sold thousands of units of this thing. It was a good year for XWork Server. But there are some limitations on the current version of XWork Server in terms of number of databases, number of applications. It's too complicated, right? It's not what our intention was. So the 9.0 version of XWork Server is just going to restrict you based on NSFs. You don't care whether they're one application or two applications or whatever. On a sliding scale, where a list price of $1,000 on the fixed-term license, you can deploy 4 application NSFs. And if you want 8, you can pay another $1,000. And if you want 12, you can pay another $1,000, and so forth. There's still an upper limit. I don't know what it is. 16 or 32? 32, yeah. But for deploying applications that are like, a standalone solution, not using mail, not using anything else, XWork Server we think is going to be a very, very economically attractive solution. Tivoli Directory Integrator and Mobile Connect will also get updated to the last release, and we're also clarifying the entitlement to WebSphere Application Server to include the Edge components so that you can do reverse proxy and the like with iNotes. OK. All right, so last couple of slides. I wouldn't want you to think that we're not thinking about the world beyond 9.0, because we absolutely are. We've had workshops going for several months since May of last year on what the next release, maybe it's time to hit the number 10 or something, will be like. I almost never have used a roadmap chart in this presentation at Connect or Lotusphere any of the previous years, because I'm so excited about the story we have to tell today. I don't want to get too focused on the future, but I want you to know that future goes and goes and goes and goes. Notes in Domino 8.5 will be supported at least through 2016. We've already said that in public, and that's an at least statement. Version 9 that'll ship this year, add another 5 to 7 to 10 years on top of that. So very, very long into the future. Cloud and premises parity, very important to us in the mail and calendar space. So you see both of those lines. You see Connections Mail on there. You see Smart Cloud. You see Traveler. And, of course, Notes in Domino. So we're continuing the investment. We're going to continue it far into the future. And you can be confident of your continued strategic use of Notes in Domino in your environment. All right, so let me wrap this up. Thank you for your support during 2012. We had a great year in Docs launching, in Smart Cloud Notes, in Traveler, in Connections Mail. In 2013, we now have Notes in Domino 9 Social Edition, a major release with the quality of a maintenance release, tested by thousands of customers in deployment. IBM Docs and Smart Cloud Docs available now. Smart Cloud Notes continues to represent the best in cloud collaboration.